I never didn't believe in Bigfoot. I never believed in it. I didn't believe in it. I never given it any thought.
They kept wood knocking back and forth to each other, and it was in a pattern.
Barn owls don't typically throw rocks.
I come across these tracks.
Sasquatch is still not on my mind.
I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I'm using this show as denial to the fact I have to get back to my real life tomorrow. So it may go for 6 or 7 hours. And I hope everybody got the, I told my mama today, I said, I got like this fetus of food moving around like on Alien. And it's like, you can see it just shifting from day to day. Well, welcome back and thanks for watching. I know the chat was already lit up. We got Miss Tiffany Doran with us. Field notes here. Let's get everybody to check out store.friggin.coffee. I got a little coffee sponsor. It's good stuff. We discussed it earlier. This is not friggin' coffee because I didn't want to grind anything. This is actually a hidden secret here in America. This is called Tim Hortons from Canada. You probably heard of it. But you can order it in like 3-pound jugs. That's like a real coffee sponsor. I get Tim Horton by the case. 3-pound canisters. And they're cheap on Amazon and they last forever and they're good. They got the little maple flavor. But yeah, that's a coffee pro tip. That's what I power myself with because I can get 10 pounds at a time. But anyway, back to my guest here. Tiffany Doran, associate producer of the Paranormal Odysseey Podcast with Wayne, is it Tithero? Tithero, his name? I can never say it right. Tothero. Yeah, there's like a hidden sneaky E. All the while being a paranormal enthusiast. Her husband's a Bigfoot researcher. We got some video for that. And a romance novel author. I almost said artist. Romance novel artist. Author on Amazon. Links are in the descriptions to those. And a future Dogman book author, but it's not released yet. So let's get to talking to Miss Tiffany. How's it going? Thanks for coming on. We've been talking for an hour. We should have recorded that. It's actually a decent conversation. Roger wants to know if you had a booth in Gatlinburg last year.
I did not. But we are absolutely talking about going. Well, actually, we're not talking. We are planning because it's going to happen 2 days after my birthday at the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Con. I would love to go. So we are planning on getting a cabin up there and just living it up for 3 days and then coming back.
When is it this year or next year?
July 26th, I want to say, or 27th. It's one of those.
Because I'm definitely going because everybody I know went last year and I got left out. I didn't know I wanted to do conventions, but I totally do.
You totally do. When the scene
I did one in Nashville and I was like, yeah, this is, if I could somehow make this like a piece of my job. Yeah, it was nice. All the people talking about stuff, nothing serious. It's all like paranormal talk.
Yeah, the camaraderie at these things, amazing. I've not ever been to Disney World, but I can only compare it to that because you don't want to leave because you're in a room with like-minded people and it's just wonderful.
And they would just walk up to you like, oh, what is that? And I hear it and then give them, because I went like 2 weeks before Halloween, so I was giving out candy. I had the ultimate segue to conversation.
Here,
I gave out candy and the little paranormal cat balls.
Oh, stellar.
People thought they had to pay me for them. Like, no, man, just keep them and subscribe to YouTube and share with your friends. That's only stipulation is you have to hawk me unconditionally is what you have to do.
Hawk you.
You have to hawk my channel unconditionally. You're now a follower.
That's
you didn't read the fine print in the QR code. It states you're now have to give me your firstborn like Jim Jones.
Yeah, you be the next Rumpelstiltskin.
So you didn't even go to the conference. You just heard about it last year. You just knew about it.
Yeah, just heard about it.
Here, you're up there in Virginia, though. That's
yeah.
it's right next. Geography's hard. You said it's like Hotel California.
Lord, we are in it tonight, buddy, because I'm directionally challenged as it comes. So I just know that it's 4.5 hours in the opposite direction of the beach, which we normally get to. So
the opposite. Yeah. Well, you forget that Virginia and Kentucky and Tennessee all touch each other right there at the corner at Bristol. The one wrong turn, you're in North Carolina. We were up that way last summer, so I got a good chance to see it all in Corvallis out there on the sandy beaches.
And beaches.
All those horses.
Oh, I love horses. Horses.
Have you been to the Outer Banks?
No.
We just go to wild horses?
No, I see them online. That's about it. I think if I were in person on the beach with a horse, God, my husband would never get me to leave.
Well, you can't touch them or anything. They're wild.
Well, I wouldn't want to touch them.
They just kind of look at you. You can't ride them.
I've ridden one horse one time, and his name was Ringo. And I've never been on a horse before, and this horse was freaking massive.
Was it like a Belgium?
I was like, really? I don't know. It was just a big friggin' horse.
And Belgian horses get pretty big. They take you out there in Hummers and Jeeps and stuff and chase them around.
Yeah.
It was some of the most fun I've ever had.
Yeah, no. And then you get off the horse, and like once you ride a horse, and you understand why people walk bow-legged, because I was like, wow, okay, I get it now. Holy cow.
I tell you what, I couldn't. It made me. I forget to do the bounce thing when I'm riding a horse and end up hurting myself.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the little post up.
Yeah, nobody explained the soreness either for the next several days.
So they call that saddle, the saddle chafing. They call it.
Yeah.
Belgium shakes the ground. Whoa! I was like, what is he talking about? Belgium's. It's like, we're really into geography lessons here. Well, all right, let's dive off into our convo so we can dive back out of it. What's the? I want to hear about your husband's Sasquatch experience or alleged experience, because we've been talking about that a while, and we have visual aids.
Yes.
Where do you want to start?
Well, we'll just start there.
Comments down.
Yeah, we'll just start there. So he and we mow the grass together. I'm weird. I like to mow the grass. I find it very therapeutic, and I listen to my podcast while I'm doing so. So when I finish, he will go around and weed eat and knock all the vines and stuff off of our chain link fence. And I'll usually go up to the top of our yard because we live on a downslope. So our yard is actually in sections. Mm-hmm. So I went up and was sitting in front of our house, and he called me, and I didn't think anything of it. I thought he was just asking me to bring him some water. So he was like, so I have a question. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he was like, do they come out in the daytime? And I was like, do what come out in the daytime? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, Bigfoot, do they come out in the daytime? And I'm like, well, yeah, you have your day watchers. And I was like, why? And he said, because I think I just saw one. And buddy, I flew down to the hill where he was standing. So you go through our house down to the downstairs level. Then we have a deck on the back of our house. Then you go down there. So the portion he was standing at, clearing the vines off the fence, is flat. So he was telling me, and he was obviously spooked. Okay. My husband is 6'1" and like 280 to 290. And he doesn't scare easy. He has never been one of those people, things go bump in the night, don't scare him. But he was shook. And so he was explaining, and I sent you the video that I had taken that same moment to where it was at. And I'm not good with distance, but I panned my camera all the way out to where he could tell me where he had seen it. And he was like, it gruffed at me.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it gruffed. He said it was obviously disgusted that he was there.
Mhm.
So he had stopped his weed eater to fix the line on it. And he usually wears his AirPods, and he had turned it down. So he was just standing there fixing the line, and he felt like something was looking at him. So when he looked up, it was right there. And he said he saw it for like half a second to a second. He said, I can't tell you any features that was on it. It was big, and it was black, and it was fast. And he said when it went, huh, and then took off. And he said it was like, throwing a baseball through the leaves. You hear that clicking noise when they run.
Mhm.
And he said it was gone. Just gone. And then he asked me to stay in the backyard with him. But he
walked hand in hand mowing the rest of the grass.
no, actually, he didn't even finish doing what he was doing. And
Gruffing and disgusting. People say that all the time. He was just mad I was there.
Yeah, that's what he said. He was like, it was just disgusted, but what gets us is like, where do they go? Like, where do they go? When you see the video, I mean, it's just, it's maybe like the end of August, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the exact time because it was in 2021. But beyond that, we have a little alcove. And if you were to go to the right, I mean, you would have to cross a guardrail. We live across the street from a creek, and then it goes up into the mountain areas. So it's like, where the hell did this thing go? Because it can go up the alcove to the right or to the left, I'm sorry. And if you follow that through, there's other houses up here in this little subdivision we have here on the side of the mountain. But then it's just mountains past that. So, but it disappeared. And he didn't say, I saw that question. It didn't drop on all fours. Oh. It just ran from standing, just ran. And he said it was anywhere between 8 to 8.5 feet tall.
He's up there sleeping, somebody running a weed eater.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Exactly. He done woke it up and made him mad. He's like, and then took off.
Probably wasn't anticipating it to be right there either, that time of day. Right.
Yeah, because it was in the evening. Because I know it was really hot during the day. So I'm like, hey, well, instead, let's just mow, after, so it was like anywhere between 4 and 6 that we were out there.
Let's hear his real life account. What's his name? Zach?
Zach. Uh-huh.
Zach, yeah, that's right. We talked about that. Zach's at work.
Yeah, he is at work.
Yeah. Shout out to Zach for holding it down 24/7. Hello, Zach. It's what's that out? Steel mill workers. Anyway, I'm not going to sing. Here's Zach's account.
Tree in between that tree and the tree behind it. It was ape-like. It scared me.
Oh, that's big time if it scared you.
Yeah, no, it scared me. I didn't know. But when it took off, we could hear noise, like, things going through the woods.
Yeah.
But like it was done.
Yeah,
gone.
like
fucking gone.
2 steps.
Yeah.
Said it was gone. Just
gone, man. Effing gone. Effing gone.
Cuss for effect. It's gone.
Yes.
What are these other pictures we got here?
Okay. So these pictures right here, they are actually in front of our house. So I had come home from work on my lunch break and everything was clear. Okay. See, sometimes known as Mr. Tiffany. Yeah. We talked about that too. So I had come home from lunch on my, from work. And there was nothing. None of this was laying in the road. It was just clear. So I was at home 30 minutes, long enough to eat a chicken sandwich and some chips, and then go pick up our daughter and then, drop her off and go back to work, blah, blah. So from the time I got home to the time I came back outside, I didn't hear any noise. I didn't hear any kind of mowing, any kind of trimmers, any chainsaws. I didn't even hear this fall. Okay. So then I come outside to leave and I'm sitting at the top of the driveway and I'm like, well, damn, there's a tree in the road. And you can see, and I took I had zoomed one of the pictures in to where you can see it is not cut. It is not a straight cut. If you look around the edges, it's jagged. It's like something just broke it in half. And there it is.
It definitely looks like it definitely like a break.
Right. And so, but I'm like, we have a neighbor above that slope that you see right there. But again, you know, in the summer, it's like the Amazon jungle. And then to the other side of that, there's a house right there. And I'm like, okay, well, how did nobody see this? You know, because that had to be moved out of the road before I could even drive. It was very bizarre.
Yeah, that would make a lot of noise.
Right? You would think so. And then you can see there at the end of that one where it's clearly been torn off.
Yeah,
At the end
I'm doing my mouse over it like anyone can see this. So like you can see it, the way it looks like it's broken just everywhere. Like it's just taking like the way people snap a log or a limb over their leg.
Yeah.
And did that happen the same day?
No, it wasn't in the same day, but we had like this, we had like this culmination of events that took place. Like Zach had his sighting, and then this happened, and then we had rocks. Now, okay, we have a rock wall, but I know my rocks. We've been here 5 years. These rocks were not from that wall. So the only thing we can think of is that the rocks that have been placed in our driveway came from the creek because they have the dirty bottom to it. It just looks like they had been picked up out of the creek. And they were, and this was, let's see, his sighting was in the latter summer months. So then fast forward to like October-ish. And that's when I had come home from the chiropractor, and all the way up our driveway is a row of rocks, like specifically you know how they put things in a row? I have a video of the rocks, and I did not send that one, but I do have a video of that I can send. But you know that when they lay things out for people, they're placed strategically, like perfect. And that's how the rocks were going up our driveway.
Have you ever heard of Carter Brushart? He talks about the rock things he gets left when he does stuff.
Yeah.
So that reminded me of. Has there been anything like any little like nuanced events happened since, like stuff like that? Not necessarily a tree get pushed over, but something little.
Well, the spring of this year, there were two, what I can only perceive them to be as tree knocks. And I haven't heard or seen anything else yet. But when we did this show recently on that BIGFOOT podcast, and we were talking about the Bigfoot and the UFO connection, we had also at the same time a lot of paranormal things going on inside the house. So that has kind of amped up a little bit again. So I'm just kind of wondering if there's a connection there with the paranormal and the Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, that's a huge deal lately. People are starting to realize it. Yeah, well, I think Wayne's on here asking if you're killing it. Yeah, he's killing it. We're doing a good job.
I'm trying to kill it.
Yeah,
I'm representing.
Podcast on a Sunday. We're lucky we're alive. Damn. And why did Roger write that like he was being a smart aleck? Has anything ever hit your house?
No, nothing has ever hit our house.
To be that way, but has anything ever hit your house? Damn, jealousy, Roger. So things hit the house, assumed it was acorns.
See, he didn't tell me this stuff. But as soon as
that's Zach. Oh,
yeah, that's Zach. Wow. I don't think there were anything bigger than that. Well, that's very interesting.
I mean, a lot of times acorns will just fall down straight anyway.
Right. Because see, we had all that. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. Like Zach and Carrie, our youngest daughter, would hear like voices outside of like this little girl saying, "Help me."
What on earth?
Yes. So we had to have so we had to have this conversation with Carrie. No matter what you hear outside, do not go outside. Do not. Whatever you do.
What are you in the Appalachians? Like that kind of Virginia?
No. We live at the foot of Bent Mountain. So we're about 10 minutes away from Blue Ridge Parkway.
I want to Google that, but I won't show the place.
Okay.
Bent Mountain, Virginia. Not that nobody else has, because nobody else has Google. Just me. Peasants.
Well, we're about 30 to 37 minutes away from Floyd County.
Well, that's the Appalachians area.
Well, and when I was looking at the BFRO and their site earlier, and there's a Class A sighting that came from Floyd.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's close enough to hear whistling in the woods. You don't whistle back.
That's exactly right. If you hear somebody whistling, no, you didn't.
Nope. I get down that TikTok. I always get down that TikTok when at night or early in the morning when the sun first starts coming up. Like if I wake up early on a Saturday, I'm like, I gotta quit doing this shit, man. I'll never get out of bed. I put on my snorkel and go under the covers and hide. Here we go. Roger said, check your gutters. Might have them tossing rocks at your house.
Yeah, this is true.
Got a conversation with Roger. It's a Roger and Zach podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Roger and Zach in the morning, 97.3.
That's awesome.
Mountains Radio.
That's awesome.
Roger and Zach.
But yeah.
What if like you went and started like a, I don't know how big your backyard is, but, or maybe it's secluded enough, got a corner that you could start like a gifting area.
Well, in the summer months, it is absolutely that way. We could go out there. You could go out there during the summer months, just butt ass naked, and nobody would be able to see you. 96.3 the Squatch. That's stellar, honey.
Butt ass naked in the summer.
Butt ass naked in the summer. Nobody would see you.
Speaking of gifts, damn. Right. I was thinking peanut butter, but you do you. And what?
Oh no, let's not go down
Bigfoot,
that route.
and the purpose is that Bigfoot to give you a body, not you to give them one. That's not. It's completely backwards.
Yeah.
I get what you mean though. Like just all grown up and everything. It's like a wall.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Because the flat area, we keep that mowed. And then there's a little area where you have to go down and around. And then another completely long flat area of our yard from one end to the other. And the middle portion is like the Amazon jungle. We can cut that down before it even starts to grow and get all that dead stuff out. And it's ridiculous by summer. And there's another video that I had sent you that happened in that same time period where you will see how grown up that stuff can get. And it was just, I was sitting on the deck, and when all of that stuff is super high, you cannot see the bottom portion of our yard. So I was on the deck that night. I don't think it was the same night. I think it was a couple nights later, but I could see clearly to the bottom of our yard. And I'm like, well, this is not normal. So I get Zach and we go down there, and all of the things in just one large circumference is completely broken in half. It's almost like somebody took a hold of it and then flipped it over with their thumb in half. And it's all
video. I remember another one now. Where did it
Yep,
go?
I did. I think it's like 32 seconds long.
I remember. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Hold up. Hold the phone. I didn't download all the attachments. Like Snoop Dogg says, hold up.
Well, we've been chatting since September, so
Yeah, this I've really got to get my schedule under wraps because I'm out till like March. I'm like, come on now, I gotta get myself on other shows here.
I'm very curious too, Zach. I'll have to check that out. I never thought about that. But yeah, you'll see it in there, and they're all facing towards the direction of Back Creek.
I'm just gonna share this one.
Okay.
Sharing the screen. Yeah, I watched it and I was like, where is that one? I'm glad you brought that up because I completely forgot.
Yep.
Here we go. What? Get out of here. All right. Just keep chatting away. I'll upload it.
You'll upload it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, and in that video too, you'll see that side of the chain link fence, and that's the same side that Zach had his sighting at. Was right there.
That's crazy because from look, I'm not sure where your house is in that whole mix, but it looks like it's one of those areas where you go for 5 minutes in either direction, you're complete boondocks.
Yeah, in the woods. Yep. It's crazy. And I have another video. It's funny. And I think it's actually on my actual YouTube channel, Tea Time with Tiffany. If I uploaded it, I can't remember if I did or not. But I was sitting on the deck and I had heard something on the opposite side of the chain link fence right before you get to the road. And it sounded like it was big. So
Okay. I forgot that it muted me during that thing and I was talking. And so I was saying everybody on the podcast app, we're looking at the video of the slope.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. And it doesn't make any sense. It's just that one area. Everything else is left alone. But it's right there beside the fence.
Did all that stuff get knocked down by something else?
We have no clue.
Okay, I didn't know what I was looking at there. I was like, what?
Yeah, I know, and it muted me, so I couldn't explain it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sitting here talking, I'm muted too, like an idiot.
So when you see that right there, that is right there in the middle portion of our, downslope that I'd have deemed it to be the Amazon jungle. But just that one area has everything flipped down in half and nothing else is touched all the rest of the way down. Just right. It's like something just came in, destroyed everything, bent everything over, and then disappeared. And there's,
Y'all got some skinwalker shit going on up in there.
With the voices, it makes you wonder.
Hey, the voice thing, because they do that shit, the mimicking and the hoot owls and the bionic bird.
Yeah, well, and here recently, several months ago, we were upstairs and Carrie had messaged me and she said, Mom, it sounds like Teresa is outside hollering.
No.
Teresa's our middle daughter. She doesn't live at home. And she said, but it sounds like she's outside in the driveway hollering. And I was like, I checked her location and I was like, she is at home. She's not here. Do not open the door. Do not go outside. Do not answer whatever it is you're hearing back. You're not hearing a thing. Not at all.
Best thing to do, just go run straight toward it is best advice you can give anyone in that situation.
Run away.
Yeah, just close the door, burn the house down, move to Maine, move to an apartment building in New York City. You'll be safer.
Yeah. It's like
She really said it was your daughter. She really
She
said it
said
was
it.
her sister.
She said it sounded exactly like her.
That's the first biggest thing in the book that they do. That's not even Bigfoot. That's like Skinwalker stuff.
Exactly.
Zach,
And it's,
Zach has regrets. He's never home.
I know. He always misses the good stuff.
You need
But
to get
yeah.
a few small dogs to throw them out there.
No.
Some bait chihuahuas. Roger has
No.
questions.
I
Ask
have
your
so many-
questions, Roger. We're here.
I have so many questions too.
You'll be on Roger's show before you know it. He's the next big up and coming Bigfoot star.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do too. Her and her sister. That is flooring me. That's terrifying. That's Skinwalker, Wendigo, whatever you call it.
The Wendigo? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
Not rape. Rake. The rake.
Yeah.
Rake?
The rake.
The rake.
Well, yeah, the rake and yeah. But it's pitch
The
black.
rake, wraith, Skinwalker, Wendigo. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah. I mean, now it's not pitch black because our neighbor's house is like glowing for Christmas.
Mhm.
But generally it is pitch black outside.
That is.
And no.
I'm still team gifting rock though. I think you could probably do it. Is there a rock out there? Maybe a table? You take a picnic table out there or a bench?
Well, see, and I'm trying to figure out where, because I know at the bottom area of that fence where it meets at the corner, you could put, because we have a tree right there and then the chain link fence goes behind it. But Hunter, our Labrador, at the end of, I think it was the end of last year, started really going after that and digging.
Maybe you can put it outside the fence on that little slope on some way, just so nothing would get to it.
Yeah, and pick it off.
Yeah, like don't open the peanut butter or anything. Just kind of set it up top in a tree, and put two nails and set the peanut butter on top of the two nails.
Just to see. It does make you wonder.
Maybe some toy cars on a bench outside.
Mm-hmm.
Something that you hold something that you might like and put out there and see if they move it. They like things that are personable.
And blue. I've heard they like the color blue.
I've heard them getting freaked out over dolls with eyes, with like big button eyes. Not liking those.
I get freaked out.
It's all anecdotal.
And us too.
Yeah.
Dolls are creepy.
Yeah. If you live anywhere near this little place I'm looking at, you totally should try something. Just see what happens.
Yeah.
Don't put cameras out or anything. Maybe go outside and talk to them every afternoon or at dusk and introduce yourself and put something out. I
because we haven't, and I learned about Sasquatch and the UFOs when my dad introduced it to me when I was 12. And then, of course, like everybody else in the world, they watched Harry and the Hendersons. So then I had this idea that all Bigfoot were like Harry and the Hendersons. And then, you're my age, right? I don't know. I may have insulted you. Maybe younger than me.
How dare you? I'm 25. I've lived a hard life.
But do you remember that movie Mac and Me?
Mm-hmm. Talking about the aliens that.
Yeah, they go like this.
Mm-hmm. And the grocery store blew up, and there was a wheelchair.
Yeah. See, and that's how I envision every alien. Yes, exactly.
Mac and Me. Yeah, I'm 40. I'm a man. I'm a grown man. I'm 40.
Oh, you're 40. I'm 43. So
definitely no Mac and Me. Then there was there was like a little run there with Mac and Me, and there was that Alien Invaders where the one alien was wearing like a fighter outfit. It's got like a comedy. That was funny.
Mm-hmm.
And they got in a big silo full of popcorn. They had to eat their way out.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, the Mac and Me. Every time you picture them, you picture that.
Every time. So I thought that all Bigfoot were like Harry off of Harry and the Hendersons, and all the aliens were like Mac and Me. And, I was so wrong. But I haven't had any orb sightings or any UFO sightings or anything like that.
That may be a hotbed. I mean, if this is if you go toward I'm just looking at the map here, Lancaster Gap and a Bull Run Knob Overlook.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's 100 miles of woods on the other side, going back toward the actual mountains. That's thousands of miles.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's easy corridor.
Yeah. And they could easily, travel and make their way here. And
yeah, especially at night. Ain't nobody doing anything.
No, not
especially
at all.
Especially if they can do the things everyone wants them to be able to do. I'm officially making this channel pro woo, by the way. That's its debut. Yeah. I'm pro woo. We want to believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, like I said, we just did that show on that Bigfoot podcast with the Bigfoot and the UFO connection. So okay. Let me go from the interviewee to the interviewer real quick. Just real quick. I can't help it.
Deposition time.
What is your opinion on that? Where do you stand with the Bigfoot and the UFO? Like, why do some people have Bigfoot coming out of UFOs and other people don't?
Probably similar technology, and they both hang out between veils. Maybe get interwound some way. But I think me and my friend Wild Trees, he was a co-host I used to have, said I compared it to like Microsoft and Apple. Yeah. Like on the other side, you have like portal technology, Microsoft portal and your Apple portal, your iPortal. Mm-hmm. Like you're going back and forth, its abilities. So they probably get interwound some way. And if aliens come here doing whatever, and they come down and they're in our little fourth dimension, all of a sudden a monkey walks up, or not monkey, but large primate thing walks up, and like, what the heck is this? What is? Maybe it just goes crazy and just bashes the hood of their spaceship in. Like, but yeah, I think it's something like I think the portal kind of brings them together. Whatever happens over there, or they could come together. I don't know, but I think they interact in some way on the other side, and then whenever the veil gets thin, there they are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had a pretty wild show last night on Paranormal Odysseey. She went like way into the woo. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's a big ask, but at the same time, it is what it is. As far as her opinion, that's, you take people for the benefit of the doubt, and it's kind of like you eat the meat and pick off the bones and stuff like that. Yeah.
I've always since the late 90s, there was a radio show I listened to called Rick and Bubba. And that's actually them behind me here. They're syndicated. You probably heard of them up there. But they had a lady call in back in the late 90s and talking about the woo part. And that's the first I ever heard of it. And I always liked that idea. It made it realistic. Like, it's not a hidden ape. It's a spirit thing, It made more sense. But then I started this show, and everybody that actually experienced it, like in their property and old timer, generational habituation people, they all said woo stuff. Nobody that actually lives and experiences them regularly is flesh and blood 100%.
Right.
Not one of them. Nobody.
Yeah. And I used to, back in the day, I used to think flesh and blood. But, I mean, when you really start to study this stuff, it's like they can't just be.
The can of worms opens itself is what happens. That's the problem. It is what happens is what happens.
Well, and it's like when I was working, and I used to just listen to you guys, when I was working. There's so many different encounters that I listened to. Like, this guy was on this, stretch of road, and it was pitch black, and it was the middle of the night, and he hits this thing that runs out. Mm-hmm. And there's like this big, humongous flash of bright light, and it's gone. It tears up his car, of course. But nothing is found when he gets out to look to see what it is that he hit. So it's almost like he hit it and it went somewhere, like into this pool or whatever, and just disappeared.
I call that force ghosting. Like Obi-Wan just disappeared. I think that's why we don't find bodies. If they die, they just kind of all you find is their robe.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I did when I started this, I did not ask for the woo. The woo chose me.
That's right.
Like, I just wanted to hear stories, and everybody that I talked to, I just wanted to hear stories about what happened on their property. And it was like, yeah. And then an invisible one walked up, and it was cloaked. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
See that? Like, I didn't ask for it. It all came to me. Like, I'm not wanted it. I didn't hate it. It's like coming to Thanksgiving. You didn't ask for deviled eggs, but there they are.
Right.
But yeah, it's what it is. Like, I was sitting at a undisclosed location somewhere in the Southeast United States with some fairly experienced Bigfoot researchers telling me, and I'm like, so is this group woo woo or flesh and blood? And they're like, I think I think the people here are what they experience, which
right.
Yada yada yada. They see shit. That's basically how they explain it around the campfire. Yada yada yada. We see stuff.
Yeah.
What it is what happens is what happens. That's what happened. Yeah, that's it. It's whatever happens, happens. That's what they say. And that's what happens. And Roger here will tell you, Roger's all about it.
Yeah, and we
He's
have
talking
to
about Andre the Giant.
And as podcasters, we take what people give us because that is what they experienced. And people are going to have their own opinion, and they're going to believe them or disbelieve them. And that's just where it is. But as the experiencer, we can only come on here and convey, hey, this is what we saw. This is what we experienced. This is what we're hearing and seeing.
I tell you one thing about it, it's consistent. These people that don't know each other, from Vermont to Minnesota to Iowa, they're all saying the same stuff.
Yeah.
Whether you want them to or not, Matt Moneymaker, they're saying the same stuff.
Yeah. But it's the same way with the dogmen too. The dogmen, they are all, they're all like demonic looking, and I did write much,
Never a fun time with the dogman. Nobody's ever had a pleasing experience.
I've not ever heard anybody with a pleasing experience there either.
Nope. Zach said it's all about perception. Some people think how. Yeah.
He speaks from experience there because he's been a medic for 26 years. So.
Has he really?
He has. Yes.
Him and Glenn Jackson will get along. Glenn's all about the medic life.
Yeah.
Those two.
Yep.
Some people can see what others can't. I mean, I've seen people that I've met people that only experience the stuff around campfires, and oh shit, I'm still alive. I clicked something. People only see stuff around campfires. Like, we're around campfires, we're throwing rocks. We see eyes. I don't see. They're like, I didn't experience anything woo woo. Well, how did they get there? You saw 15 feet of them.
Right. Right.
And what you saw was their flesh and blood. I mean, that's just part, like you said, that's part of what they can only report on what they dealt with.
Right.
Like Roger's friend Mike, and I guess subsequently my friend as well. And he experienced a Bigfoot in Mississippi in the bottoms, and he saw it at 100 yards. He made some noise. It came 30 yards closer and screamed at him. He saw one scream from 30 yards. Probably the best Bigfoot story I've ever heard. But it didn't do anything. It didn't blink out. It didn't no clip into the back rooms or anything. What he said it did was from 150 yards, it collided to him in 4 seconds. Like it was on like some kind of, he said like an elliptical machine. It was there in 4 seconds.
Wow. Yeah.
And didn't really like take steps. It just went and he was there. Yeah.
How do they do that? And that's what Zach was saying. It just went so fast.
Yep. They got that. And he also said that when it screamed, its whole face turned into a funnel. It wasn't like an animal opening its mouth. It was like it's some kind of, he said it was out of a comic book. He said it was like a comic book effect. And that's anybody watching, that's on my channel at Best Bigfoot Story You Ever Heard. Worth the watch.
Yeah, see, I want to see one so bad. And people will be like, oh yeah, no, you don't. Really, I do, but I don't know how I would like physically or mentally handle seeing one. But
yeah. I've had that same conversation with myself.
Yeah.
I ain't ready for this shit, man. I ain't ready for this shit. It's like Platoon. I'm not ready for this.
I'm just kidding. I don't want to see you anymore. Go away.
Well,
but I was so envious of my husband because he got to, and when this happened, I mean, he's never been 100% skeptic. He's been like an open-minded skeptic. Okay. Yeah. Huge, dark, and bigger than a bear. Yeah.
That's the podcast name there. Welcome back to the Bigger Than a Bear podcast, 96.3 Squatch.
But yeah, like
Faster than a bear too.
Yeah. But like I wanted to see the Bigfoot. Like paranormal stuff creeps me the hell out. And that is the main thing that I experience. It's just, you know, I dealt with it here. I dealt with it at my old job. It's just, I just want a Bigfoot. Just a Bigfoot.
Well, I was sitting right next to I guess you would say famous. I looked it up afterwards and he was pretty famous. Bigfooter. And it was 1 a.m. and we're sitting there talking around this campfire, just me and him, and Glenn was there too. But he said, this dude jumped up and said, "I shine." 12 o'clock. I was like, I'm not ready for eye shine. Not ready for that at all. Turned out to be he didn't know that there was a car parked in the woods. And it was a planet or a star just reflecting ever so slightly off the nowadays got the rear views have that little black thing on them where the cameras and the sensors are reflecting right there perfectly. And the fire just happened to whip. My eyes adjusted and I saw it was sitting there. I said, I think that's a star in that windshield. He goes, okay, I guess it is. But for 10 seconds, I had a Bigfoot by me and I was like, I ain't ready for this. I'm not ready. I don't know what to do. What do I do? I got to sleep right over there.
See you later.
Yeah, I was excited, but they hit me. I was having to face it. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how I would deal with the,
I'm ready for it though. I think I would handle it terrifyingly, but with courage and not run.
Right. Well, and again, like, here's like a big woo factor. Okay. This is like so woo, but you hear it so many times. Like if I was sitting out on the deck and I was talked to telepathically, I don't know what I would do. Because you always hear about the telepathy with this and people hearing them talk to them in their heads. And I don't know how I would handle that.
Or in a dream.
Yeah.
I heard the dream thing too.
Yeah, we actually had Casey and Dee on our show, and that's a lot of the times that they communicate with them is through, they call them drifts. Casey and Dee do, but that's a lot of the times that they get communications with them.
Who is that? Casey and Dee? Casey
and Dee. They're in Oregon, I think.
Oh, I'm just thinking. Yeah. Okay. I've heard of them, just not as familiar as someone else.
Yep. It's crazy.
Yeah. The talking to you thing. Of course, it may have been what your daughter heard. You know, just all in her head.
I never thought about it like that before.
If no one else heard somebody screaming, if you got neighbors. Roger said it's frozen in his tracks. They wouldn't let him move. Didn't speak.
I thought it, not let me go. That's crazy. No, but you really don't sound crazy because you hear it. We hear it all the time. Yeah. We hear it all the time. Like the other thing that we dealt with here as far as Bigfoot goes, our neighbor, we had a domestic dispute next door and it got really animated and it went like halfway through the middle of the night. And so this person was shooting at our neighbor's house. So then the cops get called. Everybody's pulled out of their houses. And so in the process of all of this going on, they also bring out canine units, okay, because they're looking for the bullets that were fired. So my middle daughter and her friend were out in the driveway. They just got off work. All this happened. She called me. It was like days of our lives, okay? But they had set out the next night in the driveway, and her friend said that it looked like something dark was up on that hill, and our neighbor's porch light was on, but it's not enough to illuminate that downslope before you get to our house. But her friend said it jumped from the top of that straight down to the bottom and took off running up the road. And I mean, that's just trees. Like, and it's pitch black as it is up there. And you're going to jump down from the top of that, which is a good distance, and not hit a single effing tree on the way down. Give me a break. Something knew that right there. I mean, they know these woods. They know where they can be and not get hurt. It's wild.
I mean, I bet, like you said, there's a Class A sighting where you are.
Yeah.
That's
Yep. And, I mean, I think they're around here for sure.
You end up with some kind of crazy event going on in your little neighborhood there.
I know.
You could have a Bigfoot festival.
It's and I was like, well, the only thing I can think of is that would draw that out. Well, you had the dogs out there, massive yelling, and then you had the really bright lights that they use because it's pitch black. It was a lot of activity going on.
Yeah, the yelling, I bet, got them in because they heard that, they felt that energy and heard the voices.
Yeah. It was just.
I've heard that basically we're their TV.
We are their entertainment.
So they watch us.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine how interesting a domestic violence situation would be to a Bigfoot just hanging out.
Oh,
what is that?
They'd be like, hey, Thelma, get the popcorn. She's getting real.
Oh. He done called her a bitch.
It was insane. But yeah.
Especially good old fashioned Blue Ridge Parkway domestic violence. It's not your garden variety.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. 12:30 to 4:30 a.m.
Yeah, it was a long. Yeah, he was home for that one. It was a long night.
The next door neighbor just shooting each other.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know the specifics, but it was a pretty intense evening there.
What did the go ahead, sorry, I was looking at something else.
I was gonna say, and the cops had some really big guns.
They come out with an MRAP.
Yeah, it was, because then we have that rock wall that sits out there, and like you have them, like one of them, and he was buff. Okay, he was buff, and he just jumped down from there, like not at the highest point, thank God, but I mean it was higher up than I would ever feel comfortable jumping down from, and he's got this big gun, and he's just like, stay where you are. And you're like, okay, I'm not moving. Yeah, it was crazy.
But you told me to freeze.
So
So what were your other paranormal experiences you were mentioning? I know we just went on an hour-long Bigfoot tirade there, and I don't hate it.
okay.
But I wanted to hear some of your other stuff as well.
I'm not mad about it. Well, around the same time that he had his encounter, I was off from work. It was a Saturday, and Carrie was in her room sleeping, and he was at work. And so we had a routine. At the time, we had 2 Labradors. My Remy, my squishy face, has since passed away. But I would go down in the morning, fix coffee, let the boys out and feed them, and come back upstairs and watch TV and drink coffee. So that's what I was doing. And so I was laying in the bed, I was on my phone, and I was, had the TV playing in the background. And we always shut our bedroom door. So I was laying there on my phone, and I hear da-da-da-da-da-da, like teenager running up the steps,
Mhm.
And so I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Carrie's awake. So I texted her and I'm like, hey, are you up? Do you need anything? Blah, blah. She didn't answer me. She didn't even open the text message. Not a peep from her bedroom. It wasn't her. So I was trying to logically think of this and say, okay, well, it could have been the dogs running up the deck stairs.
Mhm.
However, the deck stairs are on the opposite side, and the bedroom stairs or the stairs to go up to our bedroom right outside the bedroom door. And that's where I heard that running from. So I'm like, okay. So then I hear walking up and down our hallway, and we have creaky floors. And it was just exactly like somebody was pacing the hallway. Again, hadn't heard anything out of Carrie, nothing. So I, being the chicken that I am, pulled the blanket up to my neck,
under
and
the
I was
covers.
like, invested in never leaving the bedroom again because I was not going to open that door.
I live here now.
But it was, yes. So, but then it was like somebody had taken their fingernail and ran it from the middle part of our bedroom door straight down all the way, that lower half length of the door. And so I just, I'm just like,
You heard that or you saw it?
No, I heard it.
Just like,
Because, yeah.
that ain't right.
Right. So I just immediately, I'm anxious at this point. I'm scared to death. And I just, in Jesus' name, I pray, go away. In Jesus' name, I pray, go away. And everything stopped. And like the unease let up. And shortly after that, there was a knock on my bedroom door. And I was like, I am not inviting anything in this bedroom. But when the door slowly opened, it turned out that it was Carrie. And I'm like, okay, you're allowed to come in. But yeah.
I bet that knock sent you.
Oh my God. My heart was like boom, 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 boom in my throat.
That's an all hell no moment right there.
Exactly. Yes. And we had things. I am a giraffe fanatic. Okay. I am obsessed with giraffes. They're my favorite, 100%. But we have 3 stuffed giraffes that sit on our corner hutch in the dining room. And so we have a baby, a mom, and the dad. And the baby and the mom's head didn't move, but the dad's head moved. And they were all at one time looking towards the living room. And so the dad's head would slowly turn to where it was looking into the kitchen. I was like, no, thank you.
Like over time or just while you were looking at it?
No, over time.
I was going to say you saw it just look, holy shit.
No, hell no. But we have little giraffe figurines that we're setting in there that would change positions from, it would be, facing the wall 1 minute and the next minute it's completely turned around. We have LED lights in our bedroom, and I slept through it all, but Zach was woken up in the middle of the night one night and it was pitch black. And he said, all I know is I was ready to fight because I thought somebody was in our bedroom. And what had happened is we have pictures on our wall with our achievements, like my college diploma, you have his paramedic stuff up there, just different things. So one of the pictures had fallen off, and it's not just a normal fall off the wall, and I'll explain it. So, but when it did, it hit the home pod that was on the dresser and everything crashed to the floor. I didn't know anything happened. I got up the next morning, went to work, and he called me and he was like, yeah, it fell off the wall. So he called me and he was like, hey, I left all this laying in the floor. This is what happened. I left this in the floor because I didn't want you to think I was full of shit. And I said, okay. So I came home on my lunch break.
It's an easy way not to clean up after yourself, Zach. When you start using that, clearly a ghost shit in the floor. I don't know who did it.
I'm leaving it. But it was my college diploma that had been knocked off the wall. But this picture had been there. At this time, we'd been there for 4 years. This picture, you have to raise it up before you can take it off the wall. It has that kind of frame on it. And it was in the wall. It was in the floor. The home pod was in the floor. And at this point, you kind of have to learn how to live with them, you know? So jokingly, I'm like, okay, can you just not break my stuff? Because it did. It broke the back of it. I mean, I could hang it back up there, but I'm like, can you just not break my stuff? And then, you know, we'll smell cigarettes or we'll smell old perfume, you know, just, yeah.
And the other, is your house like old?
No. And that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Well, I looked at it. It was built in 1972. The only thing I can think of is there is something with this land before these houses were put here.
Yeah, 72. That's not like, yeah, it's
not
new. I mean, but it's not old, not ancient.
It's not old. Yeah. And the other night, me and Carrie sitting downstairs, and Zach had been sick. He had gotten sick. And so he was up here asleep in the bedroom. Our bedroom door creaks now. So when you open it, you know it. And that bedroom door it sounded like that bedroom door opened twice. So I was waiting for him. And so I go upstairs, the bedroom door is shut, and he's sound asleep. And I'm like, okay, I know I heard that bedroom door. It was like it opened and it shut. And then I was laying in bed one night and he was at work again. He works all the time, bless his heart. And I leave my bedroom door open now when he's gone so I can see Carrie's bedroom door. And she sleeps with her bedroom door shut. So I was laying there on my iPad one night and her bedroom door opened and then her bedroom door closed. But when her bedroom door opened, like she was going to peek out to see if I was still awake. And then it shut, like she saw, oh shit, mom's awake. And then it shut again. But when I texted her, I was like, are you okay? And she didn't answer it. She didn't open it. So I got up and went in there and she sound asleep. She was not awake to open her bedroom door and close her bedroom door.
So something's opening it for you.
Exactly. And then with our bedroom door. So that's why I'm saying the more up here, that's when all the big stuff happened last time that this happened. So I'm being very aware of what is new outside and what is going on outside, just in case there is that paranormal Bigfoot connection here, obviously.
So you said whenever that started, you cut out for just a second. You said whenever the sighting happened, that's when all the paranormal stuff started showing up.
Yeah. Yeah, because we had lived here for 4 years. We hadn't had anything crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like the Indian, Native American burial grounds, or maybe a Civil War battle. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, let me tell you about our grandchildren. Our oldest grandson just turned 4. So we have 4 who are 4 and under. And so they'll come around. Zach,
I'm definitely keeping tabs. I've noticed it. The moment you started talking, you started cutting out. But your stuff could be getting hot too. It's been an hour, so I try to debunk everything. Sorry,
you guys. If you see that on the door behind me, just don't tell me.
I'll tell you this: if you hadn't told me there was a gnat in that room, I would have freaked out when it flew by a while ago.
That's funny.
It flew by right when you talking about that ghost. I'm still not making the clip.
I wasn't. Oh, that's crazy. But yeah, but you know,
I still might make it a TikTok.
Make it a TikTok. Have at it. No, I didn't. I didn't buy any. You know, I used to thrift. I did. But then I started getting into this world and into this business and talking to people. I do not buy anything at the Goodwill anymore that's like a statue or anything like that, because anything could be attached to that.
Mhm.
And I'm not bringing it home.
Anything.
I'm not bringing it home. See, like, he'll be 3 in December. But he would come up here and, talk about Starman. And he would point up the stairs to where all the bedrooms are and say, "Where's Starman?" And I'm like, "Honey, Starman doesn't live here, baby." And he came over a couple nights later and we fixed him dinner. And he came running into the kitchen and he said, "Where's Starman, Nana?" And I'm like, "Babe, Starman don't live here, honey." So they're obviously seeing something that, yeah, it's crazy. But none of it feels
activity.
Yeah, but like none of it feels malevolent, it's not. The only time I have truly been freaked out is the first instant that I had with it dragging its fingernail down the door.
Yeah, that's malevolent enough.
Yeah. But I mean, the rest of the time it's, I don't feel like it's negative in the sense that we're in danger or, but
it just be sussing you out a little bit. You never know.
It makes you wonder. It really does.
Like
I'd much prefer.
If you'd have freaked out and left the house and stayed at the hotel for a week, could have come back and all the dishes been out. And
No, thank you. But I would just much prefer to have a Bigfoot encounter.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of a haunted house being in a haunted house because I don't want the unexpected.
Yeah.
Unless it was just unless you get somebody you could just talk to, like it was a ghost from like 500 years ago that talked to you all the time and it was there. It didn't just appear in your freaking mirror.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
It's crazy. It's just crazy stuff. It just seems to follow me and I don't know why.
It's crazy that you said it happened right when the Bigfoot stuff started happening.
Yes. Yep. So there's got to be some correlation there.
It is the time of year. And that you said that happened in August. The Bigfoot thing happened in August.
Yep. And then we started having, subsequent little things happen. And then the rock thing was in like October. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. What was the rock doing?
No, it was just it was just the row of rocks.
Yeah, they had them in a row. How many of them were there?
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 of them. Just perfectly spaced apart. Yeah.
Have you talked to Carter about? Do you know who Carter Brushard is? I also said this earlier.
Yeah, he was actually and I was just a mod for Wayne then. I wasn't.
The hand.
Yeah.
The game camera hand.
Yeah. Yeah, and when he was on Paranormal Odysseey, I was just a mod for Wayne at the time, but I heard all of that.
I mean, I was wondering like if it may be like a representation of your row of houses that they're putting out there, something like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Let me go to my favorites on your street.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Let's see. 2, like 6 or 7, actually, come to think of it.
Yeah, what if it's the same amount?
Let me see.
He's right. They made a depiction of your street.
I never thought about that. I can send this to you through Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, you can send it on Facebook Messenger.
And we'll see if you can play it.
Yes, Wendell, they certainly have. Even though they're a dumb ape that lives in the caves.
Yeah. It's send. It's sending.
That'd be crazy if it was like the exact amount of
Mhm.
houses on your street.
Yeah, I'm trying to know. Is Zach still in here? Maybe he knows how many houses we have on our street.
He's still chatting.
Because we have our new neighbors and then us and then Billy. Yeah, I want to say 6 or 7.
It'd be wild if it was the same amount. I mean, I was just spitballing there because you know how Carter's thing with the 5 rocks was him and with the people he brought in, and then there was a rock on the other end of the log was the guy sitting in the car because they were sick.
Mm-hmm.
Might be trying to communicate. And it was creek rocks. That's okay.
Yeah,
you're
see?
totally being manipulated by the paranormal right now, and it's okay. I mean,
it's
happened.
It's
I'm fine with it.
just spinning.
Yeah, you're
It's just
you've summoned. You're going to have an experience the next couple of days. I guarantee it.
well, I hope it's not paranormal. Generally, if I talk about it, something happens. So, okay, you look, dear, because I cannot. I cannot.
I've seen this shit happen so many times. 8. He says 8 on our side of the street.
Okay. I already hit send.
I think it's funny how it's just sitting there spinning.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I can stop it. And I try to send it to you through Gmail, and it won't even do anything there.
Oh, this is typical. Maybe we should change the
It
topics.
is.
That's great. Yeah, I bet you'll have something happen next spring. You should definitely do a gifting something.
Yeah.
Peanut butter in the trees.
I have to get some.
Randy puts out peanut butter like on a nail up in a tree, like 6 feet up. And he also leaves out. Oh, I see you sent it. I got it now.
I just sent it.
He also put out a whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
And they opened the markers and put them like 4 feet away.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He kept trying to give them right their name. I'm like, well, they can't spell Randy. They're big feet.
That'd be cool, though.
It would be. It'd be amazing if it wrote its name in perfect cursive.
Right?
Can you hear that?
I didn't pay attention before because
A little bit.
we were in a hurry.
Yeah.
But there's all these rocks in a lawn. This is the one I videoed the other day, but it's been run over. And then there's this one. This one was up here. And now there's this one.
See how the spacing is?
This is new.
Mm-hmm.
This one's new. And this one's new. That's so bizarre.
So bizarre.
So I just got home
What kind of?
from the chiropractor and I haven't paid attention.
My gosh, this is getting deeper the
because
more we go.
we were in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
There's
This is supposed to be lighthearted. Now I'm scared.
all these rocks in a lawn.
Don't be
I
scared.
videoed the other day, but it's been run over. And
I
then
mean,
this
you
one.
never know what you're going to find when
No.
you're dealing with,
This
Bigfoot
one
stuff.
was up here.
The fact that it was up there, that's crazy. Is that
Oh my
second one
gosh,
was run
yes.
over? Was that one too?
This is new.
Yeah, the one that got run over. Yeah.
This one's new.
That's my car.
And this one's new.
It was like 4 in
Mhm.
total.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah, it's just
They're
bizarre.
definitely
And the
from
one,
definitely from the creek. I still
Yeah.
in my ear.
yeah, she had no idea where they came from, but it was perfectly spaced. And the one that was sitting up on top of the rock wall actually has a little point to it, almost like it was broken. And there was a chair that sat out by the front door there that I used to sit at. And that rock, that point, it was pointed directly at my chair. Yeah.
It is crazy.
Kind of like Bigfoot were saying, we see you. But, I don't know. I mean, they would have to like go all predator and invisible.
Nobody's ever said they could do that. Except for everyone that talks about them.
Yeah. Because that's
except for the
thing
BFRO that won't let you talk about it.
Right. Because it's woo. It's madness. It is crazy.
Look how much time we passed. I thought it was 45 minutes in.
No, we're looking at 16 minutes.
Okay, we can do this. This has been very strange. This has been a really strange podcast, and I wasn't ready for it tonight. I needed it. I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
Well, let's since we fleshed out all that other stuff, and possibly have topics for when I come on your show whenever it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about the Dogman books you're writing? Tell us about those.
Well, I had quit my very toxic job. Yes, they have been written. They are complete. Okay.
I'm gonna turn my camera off a second, but I'll be right back.
Okay.
I can still hear you. I can still hear you.
Okay. So I quit my very toxic job on Mother's Day, actually, of this year. And the day after I quit my job, Wayne reached out to me about doing episodes on his show of like little, just a story. And every week we would put out a new episode. So I was like, okay. So I started doing that. And that's when I started what has become the Unfamiliars. So I was doing the Unfamiliars for Wayne. And then probably a week later, Brian from Sasquatch Odyssey reached out and I started doing Dogman Terror in the Woods. So every week we would have a new episode. Well, they were both, pretty popular. So once they got finished, they each got picked up by Hanger One Publishing with Doug and Alex Hotchek. And so, but I had to write separate endings for the books as opposed to the podcast. So if you go on to Sasquatch Odyssey to listen to Dogman Terror in the Woods, and if you go on to Paranormal Odysseey to listen to the Unfamiliars, there's a separate ending on each of those podcasts because the book's going to be completely different.
Is it fiction or account?
They are primarily fiction, but I did have to do research on both of them because as a writer, you have to research what you write so you don't sound like an absolute idiot.
Like a kid writing a book. And then the Dogman.
Yeah. So I went through
a crazy subject.
Yeah. So I went through encounters with the Dogman, and then for the Unfamiliars, I have shapeshifters in that one. I have Puckwudgies in that one. We have Bigfoot in that one, of course. Yes.
I love the Puckwudgie.
I do too. I had to include them somehow in that story. So, but they are in the coming soon section now on Hanger One Publishing's website. So they'll be out in 2024.
Somebody asked me, I think they were trying to stump me on the cryptid thing. And like, what's your favorite cryptid? I'm like, well, Puckwudgie, of course. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I had to tell them what that was. Since you got to make your offering to the local Puckwudgie. You have to bring it cigarettes and stuff.
So is that like legit your favorite cryptid?
No. They were wanting, not favorite. They were wanting me to discuss cryptids that weren't Bigfoot. I think it was my favorite outside. And since I've had Robert Beto from Mexico Unexplained, who knows all Mexican cryptids in South America, and I talk to him often. Like I could probably abuse the friendship and have him on once a month, but I don't. It's like twice a year at most because it's such a like such a fragile, like I've got this beautiful butterfly on my finger. I don't want to scare it away.
Yeah.
It's such a great guest. And like you could talk to him for hours. And I just like his pukwudgie thing. And there's a similar thing to a pukwudgie in Mexico. And I think they're the same thing, but not. And you make them an offer. Same. It's one of my favorite ones.
Yep.
I don't really dive into the chupacabra thing. It's just a coyote. I don't think that's a real.
Yeah.
I think that's a real thing.
I've heard some stories about the chupacabra.
Is it just a coyote with a mange every time you see it?
Yes. And the lady who supposedly shot one and had it taxidermied, and it now sits in her living room.
Oh.
And that's what it looks like. Looks like a mangy dog.
Oh, Wendell's seeing shit.
Tell me that. Look. Okay, so we did a show last night. I'm doing this show tonight. I'm doing show prep tomorrow, and then we have a show on Tuesday. So please don't tell me that you saw anything in here with me.
for our audio only listeners, a commenter said he saw movement over her left shoulder. There is a gnat in the room, by the way, Wendell.
There is a gnat.
A couple of times.
There is a gnat.
I kept waiting on somebody to comment on the orb that flew by twice.
Please let it just be that gnat.
Because I will make that a TikTok in a second. People will eat it up. It doesn't matter if it had wings on it. It doesn't matter if you saw wings and saw the beak. That's a totally orb.
It's an orb. Oh, you know what it could be? A fairy.
Oh gosh. Land on my hand.
I love fairies. No, this freaking thing likes to land on my nose right when we're talking to people. And so you have to be discreet about it to make it, it's an
start hearing
it. It's awful.
There was who was I on the phone podcast. And it happened to mine. It happened here. And there's no bug in here. There wasn't one. Nothing happened. But it flew right in front of my camera, like in mine. Somebody's like, you had an insect in there. I'm like, I would have noticed a bug. There's not a bug.
Yeah.
That's when it freaked me out because we were talking about something about like that. And he's like, I just saw an orb fly by. And I looked, it was sure as shit.
No. Well, I'm glad I prefaced this whole conversation that, hey, there's a gnat in here. If I look like an idiot swiping at the sky, this is why.
Which shoulder's your left? This
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
There has been video artifacts over there, but I don't know if that might have been what he saw.
Yeah, y'all keep watch over there. Because, I mean, the only thing that should be over there is my stuffed giraffes. And
I think it's weird that you have your daughter in the room dressed like a Victorian age person. It's kind of weird.
This is my stuffed giraffe.
You got your daughter dressed up like a Hispanic at First Communion behind you there. That's kind of strange.
Don't say that shit to me.
Hey, all I know is right in the middle of the most paranormal woo-woo stuff we could talk about, your audio was just it was like it was packet loss over and over. Then all of a sudden, it's and now it's back.
Yeah, like it's fine.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that happens.
Yeah, unless somebody else is like downloading a video or something in your house.
No, shouldn't be. Not that I'm aware of.
Somebody's watching pirated movies. We had Randy in Minnesota say, "Hey guys, if you're in the room or if you're around, make yourself known." And right then he dropped. He had to come back in. We had to restart everything.
No way. Well, see, I froze right before. It was 7:51. Right before we were going to start the show, everything froze. And then it was just spinning and it wouldn't let me leave the studio to be able to come back in the studio. And I'm like, of course. So yeah. It does. It does. It happens every single time that we talk about that on our show. Yeah.
Who was it in Blue Ridge, Georgia? There's a guy I talk to all the time. And he had his ghost box going during our shows. It was crazy. He had about 4 or 5 of them rattling off.
That's insane. Yeah. The episode we did with Casey, she had her spirit box in there, but I mean, it just randomly started going off, and she had problems with her audio. She had to completely change devices to be able to come back on and talk to us. Everything was just cutting in and out, or it would just completely fail. Her spirit box started going off. And then Wayne's StreamYard was screwing up, and my StreamYard was screwing up.
I'll do it. I had this dock here quit working for a show. I had to get a new one. We had to cancel the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
The guy that claims the UFO magnet and stuff always messes up. Sure enough, it.
Oh, yes. Joey, yes.
He broke it. He said, put it on the screen. I'm like, yeah, man, you broke this.
Oh, wow.
Now
What do you think it is about that? Do you think it's just that electromagnetic field that just gets disrupted?
It's probably like unintentional sometimes. Sometimes I think they do it on purpose.
Yeah.
If they can just do kind of like unplugging somebody's vacuum when they're vacuuming.
Yes.
The chances are they know all about us, and we're kind of the laughing stock of them. Like, look, they're talking about us again.
We really got them going this time, Jim Bob.
Yeah, we can make their camera go out while they're doing their stupid shows.
Yeah.
Either that or it's the government.
This is true.
It's the government.
It's the government.
Hank. Guns don't kill people, Hank. The government does.
It's the government. All a cover up, 100%.
You know, it'd be really freaky if your local Bigfoot could just disconnect you right now and end the podcast for both of us and shut everything down. But they don't do things like that.
I would be through.
You wouldn't just drop right now.
I would be. If everything crashes, I'm gonna physically call you. Be like, what the hell just happened?
I'm gonna unfriend you on Facebook if everything crashed. I'm gonna break that cell phone and throw it in the trash. I'm gonna do like Walter White.
Be like, no,
she's been made. He's like, quick, everyone put your tinfoil hat. Hey, that's not tinfoil. You've been saying the same thing. You just said the same thing.
That's
every time it happens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can land the plane, so to speak. Hour and a half coming up.
Yeah.
Kind of digging this show, and I don't want it to end, but we have to because I'm hungry.
Oh, are you hungry? Well, go get a snack. I'll wait. Yeah.
Oh, it's fine because I'll eat very loudly. It's going to be bad.
Oh yeah. Control. I have this. Oh my gosh, yes, and I cannot, and Zach can tell you, I cannot stand mouth noises. Like, I just can't do it.
The ASMR. You don't want the ASMR pimento cheese in your ear?
Oh my God, no.
Leftover Thanksgiving food.
Well, it's like eating cottage cheese and just stretching out your tongue with a mouthful of it in there. That's so gross.
I love cottage cheese though.
Ew, I don't. I used to, but I can't do it now.
Throw my banners up. Everyone watching that loved this episode, share it and subscribe and tell your friends.
Yes, and then come see us on Paranormal Odysseey.
Yeah, Paranormal Odysseey. Let me. It's actually in the description, so you don't have to do anything.
Oh, awesome.
Yep, and so is paranormalworldproductions.com.
Awesome.
And your 2 books. Plug your books.
Yes. So Desires of the Heart. These are romance suspense. There's no paranormal cryptid in these books at all. But there is high time thriller. I love them with all of my heart. Mm-hmm. So Desires of the Heart is the first one, and it is on Amazon.com.
In the description. Already there.
Okay. And I just put out Forbidden Desires, which is the sequel that came out last week, and that is also on Amazon.com. So, and then like we talked about, Dogman Terror in the Woods will come out next year, and The Unfamiliars will come out next year as well.
All right. Yeah, that would be cool to look at. The Dogman thing, I'm thinking about going in like April or May of next year and doing like all Dogman videos because I know nothing about them.
Oh my gosh, they're crazy.
The next thing.
Yeah. And it's like, Okay, so we didn't have enough with Bigfoot roaming around. Now we have this 7-foot tall bipedal wolf. Well, it's not really I really don't know. I mean, you can't really
have a
say
hyena head.
Yeah, because you have all the variants.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to research those as well, like encounters with the different variants, because I had to know how to make them behave in the book. So it's
my boy Ryan Tremblay's Hyena Man.
Mm-hmm.
Changes everything.
Yep.
Have you seen the Fear, Love, and Robots? For the Love and Death and Robots about the dog men in Iraq? That's a good episode you can check out.
So, okay. I know we were going to end it, and we will, but I just have to ask you this question.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Because I think it's Jessica Jones, the Cryptid Huntress.
Yeah.
But I've heard other people speak of it as well, where they are like dressed in armor, almost like they are going to fight, like they're soldiers in Afghanistan.
Funny. It's funny because in an undisclosed location in the Southeast, Miss Jones and I had this discussion, not to that, but like we talked about different things and different dog men and stuff, but she gave out keychains that had those on it. The
Really?
German Shepherd with the armor. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because we had Jody Cook on, and we were talking to Jody Cook about it too. It's just wild. I mean, there's so many rabbit holes you can go down, and conspiracy theories, and there's so much. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on.
That's the problem. You can all night. I can't even stop talking about this stuff. Then your throat starts to hurt.
I know my throat is really dry, and I've drank all of my water.
Yeah, I'm out of coffee. I'm gonna have a. This was really strong. It really got me going. I needed it.
Oh.
But again, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks Tiffany for being on. Thanks Wayne for loaning me Tiffany for a while. And maybe next time Wayne will be on here, we can have a big party.
Yeah, we'll have a party. We'll have a shindig.
Yeah. Where did that comment go? All right, everyone. Thanks for watching, and we're out of here.
Bye, guys.
Gonna hit this intro again, and peace out.
I never didn't believe in Bigfoot. I never believed in it, I didn't believe in it. I never gave it any thought.
They kept wood knocking back and forth to each other, and it was in a pattern.
Barn owls don't typically throw rocks.
I come across these tracks.
Sasquatch is still not on my mind.